get a chance, hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. I need more subscribers. So, subscribe. Going to start off today's show with a little story time about my first real job after baseball. So I got released from the Phillies after spring training, and I thought right away, someone's going to sign me. Someone's going to want me. Nobody wanted me. Okay. Worked out and kept throwing for a couple months. Nothing happened. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just move to Texas. So I went down to Houston, moved in with a buddy. And after a month or two there, I was like, I got to get a job. I don't even know what to do. So I literally was looking in the newspaper. That's like, I was looking in the newspaper for jobs. Had no idea. My degree was in communications. That was worthless. And I was just looking at jobs. I got an interview at a bank. I didn't even know what the job was for. And then I found this thing in the paper for a credit analyst. And again, I don't even know what that is. It was for a finance company. So I get an interview. I go there. After 45 minutes of interviewing for a financial credit analyst for a finance company that does construction equipment, I got the job. They called me up like 2 days later. They're like, hey, we can start you. The compensation's $35,000. And I was like, oh, man, yes. And they're like, all right, great. We'll see you on Monday. This will be great, 8 a.m. I was like, all right, cool. I was the worst employee in history. Okay. I don't know if I lied during that interview. I don't think I did. But the first day, I get, all my stuff, all my emails, everything. I'm in my cubicle. My boss walks over and hands a file on my desk. And he says, hey, let me know if any of these machines on them have liens. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I have no idea what that is. I don't even know what a lien is. I'm Googling liens, and I don't even spell it right. I'm spelling it Leans. Then I write liens on construction equipment. I realize it's spelled IENS. So it's brutal. I have to Google what's going on here. Not sure. Get that done. Then like a half hour later, the guy comes back over and he goes, oh, also let me know how much equity they have in each piece. I was like, yeah, for sure. I'll have that right away for you, boss. At this time, I don't even know what the word equity means. So I have to call my dad. And I said, hey, Dad, I got a question for you. He's like, what's up? How's your first day going? I go, great. What does equity mean? He goes, what? I go, what does the word equity mean? He's like, Jesus Christ, don't you work at a finance company? Aren't you a credit analyst? You don't know what equity means? I was like, Dad, now's not the time. Okay? I need to know what equity means, and I needed to know it 10 minutes ago. So he tells me it's, equity is ownership and, how much you have of it and et cetera, et cetera. It tells me the whole thing. I was like, okay, great. So that day, I knew I was the worst employee they had. Luckily, this was like that huge crash of 2008 and the housing crash and 2009 and everything was terrible. And by this time, there was no business. So after like 8 months go by, this boss lady calls me in her office and she's like, hey, I'm really sorry to do this. We're going to have to let you go. And I was like, oh, no way. She's like, I'm so sorry. I was losing sleep. And I go, losing sleep? I go, don't worry about it. I didn't want to tell her that me and this guy, Spencer, were playing chess with each other for about 80% of our day because there was just no business going on. We used to do like $50 million a month, and now we were doing like $10 million a month. There was no business. So, and also I was horrible. They kept Spencer because he was good at his job. They let go of me because I was worthless. But it all worked out. I actually went back to play baseball for a couple of years. Now I'm in real estate and couldn't be loving life anymore. But the moral of the story is, if your first job stinks, don't worry. Also, them firing me or letting me go, greatest thing of all time. One of the best things they could have done. So, I was also the worst employee ever. Today's guest is a special one. He's the center for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's a two-time NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors. He's been teammates of guys like LeBron, Durant, Vince Carter, Steph Curry, you name it. He's a product of Baton Rouge, which is where I met him, playing basketball at the YMCA. Went to Vanderbilt and was a first-round draft pick in the NBA. Got a great show. He answers a lot of fun questions. I think you guys are going to enjoy it.
No shot. Dribble drive inside. Quick release. Oh.
As I downloaded the podcast, I found out that my mic was out of whack and out of tune. So it's going to be echoey on my end. He sounds fine. So I apologize, and I still hope you enjoy the show. Cool. So make sure I should have done some push-ups.
Yeah. Make sure look
just look all jacked.
Yeah.
NBA start. He is a rookie. Durant off balance.
Oh, man. Damian Jones, thanks for coming on the show. I am pumped to have you.
Oh, appreciate you for having me.
So are you in Cleveland right now?
No, we just made it to Indy, I think last night. Yeah, last night after we played Houston. So not too far from Cleveland, but, in the area.
Yeah, I saw the stat line last night. Had a couple buckets.
Yeah. It was rough. I ain't gonna lie. Like, maybe we came out kind of slow and they jumped right on us, so it was crazy.
Team's playing well though overall.
Yeah, I mean right now I think we're third in the East, so it's making it up, trying to get up to that second seed again. So.
For those of you who don't know, which is probably everybody, we used to play together at the YMCA back in the day. I was trying to think about how old you were. I don't know if you were a freshman or you were a sophomore. You were probably 6'7" at the time.
Yeah, I was like around that range, like definitely.
Yeah, there were some really good runs. There were some old NFL guys that were there. There were some Division I basketball players. You were the young guy, and then we had our buddy Phil, who was worthless, just trying to do a Euro step at every possible chance. When did you know that, like, hey, this could be my ticket?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was always in the gym trying to get better each and every day, and I got a scholarship. I got offered to Vandy like around my junior year, and I was really focused on mostly going to school and like succeeding in that, but also I had like some aspirations, like I'm trying to make the league for sure. But really, like when I got to my freshman year of college, like I saw the way like the game was played and was able to make some accolades as a freshman. I was like, I can really make a run at this thing. So, it just kept on going,
Yeah. Now, so you went to Vanderbilt, for those that don't know, and had a nice career at Vanderbilt, 2-time All-SEC. Was that your only offer? And it probably wasn't your only offer. Was that your only offer you were considering? Did you take other visits? Who else was kind of in the mix?
So I had a lot of, the conference has changed names, but Big 12 or Big 10 at the time, I don't know.
Okay.
But I had those SEC schools and like some like Stanford but mostly like some around like the southeast area, mostly those schools. And Vandy offered me like my junior year, and I took my first visit to Oklahoma and did that, and then like a week later I took my visit to Vandy, and then I committed on the spot there. So I think at the time it was like 5? You had like a max of 5 visits, and I only took 2. So. Yeah.
Was Blake Griffin still at Oklahoma, or was he already gone?
Oh, he was gone. At that time, Buddy Hield, he was a freshman.
Buddy Hield.
Yeah, so Buddy was a freshman, and I remember Ryan Spangler was like my host, and that was
Sweet. Was it Vanderbilt all the way, or was it tight?
I had like, I wouldn't say it was super tight. I kind of had in my mind that I was gonna go to Vanderbilt because like I liked that it was an academic school and SEC too. I'll be able to go back home and play LSU. And then Nashville's a great city, so.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Nashville is the best.
Yeah.
That place is nuts. And about that time when you were there, it started getting real popular. But like 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't like a destination place, and now Nashville's like the hottest city in America.
It's crazy. Like I'm thinking back, like my freshman year, like there were some tall buildings around Nashville downtown, and people would visit every once in a while. But every year I go back now, it's like something new being built in Nashville. There's so many people like crowding Broadway. It's changed a lot for real.
I can't even. Yeah. You got to be the tallest person on Broadway by about 7 inches every time you go out there.
Yeah.
Now Vanderbilt, and they have that court that's like raised, like you sit below the court and you can literally like rest your arms on the court. Is it still like that?
Yeah. Seats still on the baseline. Student section, like they can be right there on the court if they wanted to. It's still the same. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now,
if you weren't, you've been in the league for how many years now? 7, 8?
8, yep.
Year 8. If you weren't in the NBA or you didn't go to the NBA, what was kind of your career path? Because I know you're a smart guy, probably 5 times smarter than I am. And you went to Vanderbilt. I couldn't even have, stepped on campus. What do you think you'd be doing if you didn't go play hoops?
Probably trying to get into project management. I had majored in engineering science and got my minor in engineering management. So probably just pursued that. Probably,
Cool.
I'll probably go into it. So
Here's the reason you're my favorite basketball player. Okay, it's not second favorite behind Michael Jordan. Favorite active player. Okay, that's a fair. It's not the dunks. It's not the block shots. It's not the incredible hair. It's after every time you dunk a ball, you make a shot, there's no emotion, there's no dancing, there's no pounding the chest. I freaking love that. I like the guy who hits the home run, jogs around the bases. The guy who throws a touchdown pass, just high fives his teammates. I love that. And every time I see you, back when we were 15, or you were 15, I was probably like 25. It was the same thing, but you were also a younger guy playing with older guys, so you didn't ever want to do anything. But you still do that. I've watched your highlight reel 10 times. You could catch an alley-oop from LeBron, no celebration. You give a little point to LeBron, you go back.
yeah.
It's literally the coolest thing I think there is in all of sports. And how did that come about? Was it like your dad yelled at you when you were 10 and told you weren't allowed to celebrate, or you just kind of always flew under the radar? Or how did that go about? Because I think it's the coolest. I really do.
I mean, I was always pretty mellow about things. Like, I just always think like next play, like keep it going. So, I don't know. Like, I'll celebrate like every once in a while. Like maybe like my team may hit like a big shot or something like that. But, like for me, it's just like on to the next thing. Like just try to keep building on whatever I did. So, yeah,
I literally think it's the best.
yeah,
And my dad yelled at me one time after I was like 14 or 15, and I got my first article in a newspaper. And the whole article, I just kept talking about myself. And I literally came out the next day, and my dad yelled at me. He's like, "You're getting interviewed. Don't ever talk about yourself." I was like, "Oh, okay." So then, literally for the rest of my life, high school, college, a little bit of pro ball. Anytime they asked me, I would just throw other people's names out. I would deflect everything because he yelled at me when I was like 14.
yeah,
So, but I just love it when you just hammer a dunk, don't say anything, don't beat your chest, and just jog back on D.
yeah.
Yeah. So, other than being my favorite basketball player, I was looking at the stuff, and I didn't know all this until I kind of went in depth. So, you got drafted 30th overall, but I saw that you tore your pec in a pre-draft workout with the Magic.
Yeah.
So, my question's kind of like a 6-part question. Before you tore your pec, where were they kind of slating you in the draft? After you tore the pec, where were you hoping to go? And kind of how did that all shake out?
So I think I was like maybe mid to late first, pre like pec injury, and like when it happened, I was devastated. I was like, bro, like that's the worst thing that can happen. Like like all right, I'm gonna get drafted. Things will go well, and then like the one thing you want to avoid is like getting hurt right before the draft, and it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, dang, like I had no idea what was gonna happen to me. So when I got the call, like I was with I was at Baton Rouge and with my agent, and I got the call around like the 27th pick that Golden State was gonna pick me 30, and I was like, cool, like
Yeah.
money. Like I mean, I don't know when I'll be able to play again. Within the first year, I ended up coming back in like December, but yeah, it was a weird process, but still ended up making it, last pick of the first round, and working out well.
When you tore it, were you like, "Oh shit, I tore it"?
Yeah, so like I mean, I never been injured before that time, and like, I had like a major injury, and like I was, doing the bench press, like repping it out, and all of a sudden, like literally on my 6th rep, all of a sudden, like I felt like a jerk motion. I was like, that's kind of weird, So I, held it up, like tone the racket, and then I got
You
up.
tore it on the bench, not even in drills.
Not even in the drills, like on the bench.
Oh.
I'm like, dang, like what? I don't even know what happened. I thought like, somebody like mistakenly hit me in my shoulder while I was like bench pressing or something. I was like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So like, I was talking to everybody and like they were feeling around, and went and got an MRI, and it's like, yeah, bro, you completely like rupture your pec. And I'm like, dang, bro, like it's crazy. So
That's nuts. That's probably why Kevin Durant didn't bench when he had his draft. He's known for like doing 0 reps of 180 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So again, you were thinking mid to late first round. You tore your pec, and then you were kind of hoping for first round.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Like I was like, man, I don't know like how this is gonna turn out still. So, but Golden State came through.
Man, that is something. And then, so after you tore it, was the first year? Did you play your first year? Or was that all rehab?
For the first half of it was like rehab, and like I went down to the G to get like a lot of games in. So
Okay.
I played in like a couple games here and there in the NBA, but like for the most part, I was like down in the G League.
Gotcha. How is the G League? I was always curious about that. I played minor league baseball for a couple of years, and the G League I think is probably similar to AAA. Like you're just you're on the coattails, trying to on the doorstep, kind of knocking in. Is it a grind because you're not in the league, or is it still like first class flights, first class travel, great pay, or is it a grind?
Oh, it's a grind.
Is it?
And like, you're practicing every day for sure, like trying to get it in. It's just like you're trying to prove your worth, like prove why, teams should pick you up. So like everybody's like fighting for, their roster spot to get picked up from a team or get a 10-day or something. So yeah, like everybody's just trying to get out there for real.
Does it get a little selfish too when you're down there because like everyone's trying to get theirs?
Yeah, it can be like, I mean, you have to find your ways to impact the game and like, but it can definitely, in some cases, like some team dynamics can be different from others, but yeah, like it just depends. It really depends on like different situations for real. So,
and you talked about a 10-day, trying to get a 10-day contract. Now, people who follow basketball, you see that term a lot. You hear that term, guys sign a 10-day contracts. They're hoping it turns into a 20-day. They're hoping they get on the team. What kind of goes through that? Like, did your agent get a call and saying, hey, Phoenix wants you for a 10-day contract, and are you out that day and you're gone? Or is it like, hey, there's still some talks? How do those work? And are those a blessing because you're so pumped to get back in the league? Or are they a little bit of a curse where you're like, I don't want to freaking sign a 10-day. I'm going to, I have no chance of probably making this team because, Durant got hurt for 2 weeks, and that's the only reason I'm coming in. Talk me through a little bit about a 10-day.
So for me, I actually I signed one with the Lakers. Like I was with Phoenix to start the year, the 2021 season, like right after the COVID bubble year.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix, they released me, so I was like, dang, all right. And then the Lakers picked me up on a 10-day, 2 10-days initially. So like, you just going out there, just really just going out there like, I got nothing to lose. Just go out there and like, whenever I get my chance, go out there and hoop. So that was cool. Like my 2 10-days with the Lakers went well, and then I ended up signing to Sacramento like after that. So yeah, it can be a good opportunity for sure.
Yeah. 10 days are scary, but like also pretty sweet because, like I said, you're back in the league. You get a little taste for it. Usually, when you're on a 10-day, are you just filling a spot like an insurance plan, or are you actually going to get maybe 8-10 minutes a game and actually get some action on those 10 days?
It literally like just depends on like what the coach decides. Like, yeah, it just depends on whatever the coach decides. Like, if he wants to put you in, he'll like put you in there. If not, then yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I even started on my 10-day. Like, usually, you don't start on 10-day, but I had started on my 10-day. So
Really, you got to start.
Yeah, I started when I was with the Lakers. My 10 days. Yeah.
So what was that starting lineup?
It was Dennis Schroeder, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Braun, I think Kuz too, and it was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice little lineup, huh? Go to battle with those guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so now that you're there every day, forget the 10 days. We'll put that stuff in the past. I want to talk kind of about game day. Baseball is different because it's such a slow sport, so I know all about it. You can get to the ballpark 40 hours early if you want. There's not much going on. Kind of guys hang out a lot. What's a game day like at home for you or for most kind of NBA players? If the game's usually 7 o'clock, what time are you getting there? What are you doing? You have a go-to meal, stuff like that.
So for me, we usually have like a shoot around before the game. So I get up around like 7. get myself ready, take the dog out, take him for a little walk before I head out, and do a little like get some food at the facility, do a little activation in the weight room, and then probably like get to the facility probably like around 9.
Oh, really? For like a 7 p.m. game?
No, for shoot around at 10. So
Oh, I got you.
yeah, so we'll go to the practice facility and we have a shoot around there.
Interesting.
Yeah, have the shoot around at 10, and then you go back home. For me, I go to sleep, back to sleep, and then I have like a earlier shooting time. So like 7 o'clock game, I'll shoot at like 4:55 or 5:10, and so before I leave, take the dog out one more time, and then yeah, just head on to the arena, and then have your shooting time. Then you're just chilling for a bit, and then the game.
Cool. What's your go-to pregame meal? Do you have anything?
So for here, like before, it used to be like pesto pasta. Like teams would have like a pasta station, but like with the Cavs, we have like food set out. So like I'll just grab like some chicken, rice, and some like greens or whatever they have. That's about it. Keep it pretty simple.
About music?
Nah. I mean, I just listen to the music they play in the speakers. Otherwise, I'm just like they'll have like the game, like either. Say we play, like we're playing Indy tomorrow. Like they'll play like maybe our previous game against Indy, or they'll play like one of the recent games, and I'll just like watch film, pretty much.
Love it. Is film just nonstop when you get to the league? I know in football you hear everybody's just this guy watches film. Is that how it is in basketball too? Just nonstop film?
Not necessarily. Like it is definitely a big part. Just so you can learn, like because of the physical aspect. You're always like on the court and stuff too. So they want to like instead of drilling on the court so much, just the mental aspect of the game, like watching and seeing. It's definitely like you'll watch your minutes, you'll watch like opponent tendencies and what like team plays and stuff like that. But other than that, it just varies on.
Let's say you're playing the Nuggets tomorrow, and I give you 2 hours to watch film. About how much of that are you going to use on your opponent? Let's say you get to start and you got to go face Jokic. It's like how much of that are you going to watch on him?
I mean, majority be on him because like his usage rate is pretty high for them. So you watch like his tendencies, and like you watch like their top plays or something like that, and then you probably like watch like maybe past couple games that they had or something like that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm most fascinated with game day stuff and film and the breakdown of it. Are you watching a lot of the film by yourself, or is like coaches going through it with you, or are you mostly just you're in your iPad or you're watching the screen and going?
Yeah, like coach can send you their clips that they pull for you, or they can send you just the total game film that you can just watch the whole game again. It just depends on whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I'd probably get lost in my own highlights, and I would just keep replaying all my shots and be like, God, I look great out there.
No, for real.
So 2018, I saw and I looked into. You started with the Warriors, literally in the rotation. I think 22 of 24 games. And then you tore your other pec?
Yeah.
What's going on with these pecs? You literally set the all-time NBA record for pec tours.
Yeah.
Pec tears? Pectoral tears?
Yeah. Like, literally, yeah, it was a Detroit game, and, like, I remember it was the beginning of December, and I was going on for a rebound, and, like me and Andre Drummond got tangled up, and then the left pec got tore, so it was like, all right, bro, like, something's off, but, yeah, like, whenever I came back, yeah, went, got the MRI and stuff, and same situation. I was like, bro, come on now. Like, this is like the year, like, things like actually like working out. So, but it happens.
Yeah, it's crazy that you're about to prepare for the draft, which is at that time the most important day of your life. You tear your pec. You finally crack into the league after 3 years of becoming a starter, and you're not a starter on a team that's 5-30. No offense, Detroit Pistons, but you're literally a starter on the NBA champion Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry and Draymond and Clay, and was Durant on that team at that time?
Yep.
And Durant, yeah. So I should put him first. But it's like, and now you're starting, and then you tear your other pec.
Yeah.
So I mean, was that day another one like the lowest of lows, and then an hour later you're like, hey, I got to gather myself and get through this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it definitely sucked, but I was like, man, like whenever I get back, I just gotta keep working. Like I was like. Worked on like put my like myself on like just working hard, just putting in the work, and then like everything else will like figure itself out. So,
Now you won 2 rings with the Warriors.
yep, first 2 years, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so friggin' cool.
Yeah.
Again, I have about 40 questions with that. But what do you do with the rings? You just keep them in a safe spot, or
Yeah, I have it in my parents' crib right now. So,
okay?
yep.
Don't bust them out.
Yeah, got it with the Scotlandville championships too.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Either one of those years more special than the other for any kind of reason, and if not, like what's it like winning an NBA championship? It's got to be one of the coolest things of all time.
I mean, my first year for sure is just like, first, you just get into the league and all of a sudden, you win a championship. It was a crazy experience. Like, just the whole like playoff process, all the preparation, all the work it goes into like each playoff series and game, and then winning the championship, and just that celebration is pretty crazy. Like the parade that we had was like insane. Like I was so many like seas of people just around, just like celebrating, winning the championship. So it was pretty crazy.
Here's Green on the drive, and then the pass.
That is unbelievable. So you won? Did you win it your first 2 years? Was it back to back?
Yep. Yeah, 16,
Gosh.
17, 18.
And then haven't been back since.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things they always talk about in sports. Like, hey, rookies, don't get used to this. But you win 2 in a row, you're like, this is how it's going to be forever. And then 8 years in, you can't get back.
Yeah, like I mean, we went the next year we went, but we lost to the Raptors, and yeah, since then, like I don't think I've been to the playoffs since then. So
Isn't that wild?
yeah.
Wow. Who were you with, and were you in the COVID bubble? I want to know about the COVID bubble.
Yeah, so I actually didn't make the bubble. So like crazy about that, I was in Atlanta. We weren't very good at the time. Like we didn't make the bubble. So I took that opportunity to go back to school. I ended up taking like a fall semester, and took like 3 classes so I can like graduate and stuff.
Went back to school, huh?
Yeah.
Talk about impressive.
Yeah.
Man, so this season, this kind of ties into my next question. You going back to school just shows how much smarter you are than me and better you are than me. But so you go back to school, but this year you're on a 1-year deal with Cleveland for $2.5 million. And I got to ask, do you get your paycheck and just go like, whoa, that's a lot of money? Like, it's one of those things. So that's part 1 of the question, and then I got part 2. So do you still get your paychecks even though you've been in the league for a while and just be like, man, that's a lot of zeros?
Yeah, I mean, just over here, just make sure like managing the money properly, like investing in the right things for, making sure everything is like good, and then, I'm about to start my philanthropy work and stuff around the area, Baton Rouge.
Cool.
Having money invested into that so I can have a better impact in the community and stuff too.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, did you ever get a peek at Steph Curry's pay stub?
I mean, Chris Paul talked about his once, and it's pretty hefty. So.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. It's like, yeah, it's 2 weeks' pay.
Yeah, literally 2 weeks' pay, and that is that much. I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
Man, so yeah, you got to play in some cool cities. You were in LA part of last year. Now you're in Cleveland. So in terms of hot chicks, I got to know, is like an LA 4 a Cleveland 10? Is that a fair assessment, or is it not that drastic?
I mean, it's definitely different than LA, I would say.
It has to be.
Yeah, it's definitely a different scene. So, I mean, you got all the Hollywood stars and people aspiring to be stars, and they all just migrate to LA. It's definitely a different city.
Is it wild, like being around celebrities in LA? Like if you're shooting in warm ups, you're doing something, and Jack Nicholson's to your right, or Eddie Murphy's over here. Is it pretty wild, or is it after game 2 you don't even notice it because it's just every day?
Oh yeah, like I mean, sometimes like you'll see like one of your favorite actors around, and you're like, dang, like they're courtside or something like that. Like, but that happened too in Golden State as well. Like when I was up there, like every once in a while, like Jay-Z, Beyonce will pop up to the game, or Rihanna pop up to the game, and like you're like, dang, like these are the stars of the stars, and like it's crazy to see. So yeah, like constant in LA for sure. Like you have somebody pulling up to the game.
Was Jay-Z probably the most like jaw-dropping, or like stopped you in your tracks?
I mean, it was a few people like seeing Denzel Washington.
You saw Denzel?
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
mean, all kinds of celebrities like that. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, like Denzel. Almost like wouldn't you feel like he's real? It's almost like he's
Yeah,
just.
yeah.
I want to go over there and shake his hand. Okay, I got a little Damian Jones trivia for you.
All right, all
See how good you are.
right.
In order, can you name all the teams you've played for?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Let's see it. I got it. I got it written down.
Warriors, Hawks, Suns, Lakers, Sacramento, Lakers, Jazz, and here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Crushed it. Okay. Your best game ever was 17 points, 17 rebounds, 6 blocks. Who is it against?
Houston. Yeah, we just got smacked by them, so yeah.
And then like 2 days later, you scored 24 on Houston.
Yeah.
Was it like a back-to-back? You guys just stayed there?
Yeah, we stayed there. It was a weird scheduling, but yeah.
We need to get you to play for the Rockets. You might score 50 a game.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's your place.
Yeah.
What percent did you shoot for the Jazz from three-point line? It's a crazy number.
I think I was like around 70 or something like that.
71% from three-point line.
Yeah.
Not a huge amount of numbers, but
Yeah.
the big dog shooting 71%.
Yeah, no, it was definitely different.
Give me
The corner specialist, man.
Get your agent and get you in the three-point competition.
Yeah.
I mean, we're wasting time here.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2015, which is, I believe, your sophomore year, and 2016, your junior year, you were named All-SEC. Okay, I got it pulled up over here. Can you tell me each of those years who was the SEC Player of the Year? You were first team, but you were not Player of the Year.
Yeah. I don't know. Last year was Tyler Eulis. I think he won like defensive and player of the year.
Tyler Eulis won Defensive and Player of the Year. Do you know who won Freshman of the Year that year?
Who won freshman of the year? Probably Jamal Murray.
Ben Simmons.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ben Simmons for sure.
Okay. Now, your sophomore year, 2015, you were first team All SEC, but who was Player of the Year? If you need a hint, I can give you a hint.
Come from Kentucky.
Nope.
Was it Bobby?
Still in the league. Did not play at Kentucky. He's a bigger guy.
Was it Bobby?
Bobby Portis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. And then, can you name Defensive Player of the Year? Since we talked about it last time, he was on Kentucky.
Was it Willie Cauley? Yeah.
Nailed it. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's crazy.
All right, our boy Plow, who we played with at the YMCA. Here's a little more trivia.
Let's go.
The Euro stepping loser. Did he use A, 0 ankle braces every time he played? Did he wear B, 1 ankle brace? Or C, 2 ankle braces every single time he played?
Was it one? Did you know what? Or was it two?
He wore 2. And here's how I just met him I'm now good buddies with him, but at the time I just met him like a month or 2 earlier. And there was a guy out there, I'm trying to think of his name. He was kind of a heavy-set guy. He moved really good for probably being like 275.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. Phil always talks about him. I haven't seen him in forever. But he made a real nice spin move, and I go, that's a pretty nice spin move, but the guy's wearing 2 ankle braces. And then I look down at Phil, and Plow's got 2 ankle braces on, and I just start dying laughing. But now that I've known him for like 12, 13 years, that guy can roll his ankle watching TV. I've never seen anything like it.
Gotta protect the ankle, man. Hey,
He has to.
Yeah.
He rolls his ankle like every 4 hours. He turns it. A couple more things. I just want to talk about a few teammates and stuff like that, and then we'll go into some fun kind of quick rapid fire questions. I don't want to take up your whole day. I know you're a busy man.
All good.
You played with, it would be hard to find somebody who's had probably bigger name teammates than you in the last decade. Just looking, Vince Carter, Halliburton, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, you name it. What's something, I'm going to kind of pick apart real quick each of them. Like, what was it like playing with Vince Carter? Was it almost, again, like a Denzel thing? Like, that's freaking Vince Carter? I used him in a video game when I was 6.
Yeah, that was Vince's last year in the league, and, it was, just being around was crazy. Like, he still could do pretty much all the dunks that he could do before. I'm like, bro, like, this is insane. Like, athletically, man, this dude is on another level. But yeah, man, just being around Vince was cool. He got lots of stories. Yeah, it was just, I mean, it was cool being around him for sure.
I mean, that guy literally played like MJ in his prime. Like, what a wide range. You a nice guy though?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good dude for sure.
Okay. So when you were in Sacramento, you got to play with Tyrese Halliburton, and at that time, he was good.
Yeah,
But did you know he was going to be as good as he did, or as good as he is now?
like he can get like getting teammates involved was like his thing for sure. Like, I mean, he had a great shot. I mean, it's a little funky, but like, I mean, he makes
Real
it
funky.
for sure. And I mean, he always had a knack for assists. Like, he always get his teammates involved, and like you can see it. But like him and De'Aaron sharing it was kind of tough, like for the balance. But I mean, both of them were like great in their aspects. So like, having uh him having his own team. I mean, yeah, like what 27 assists one game this year. So
It's something crazy.
yeah, like he almost broke the record. Like it's pretty crazy.
I mean, obviously, I'm sure everyone's talked about LeBron, but like, what was it like being his teammate, and what makes him insane?
I mean, being a teammate is just different, man. It's like you want to go out there and perform well because I mean, throughout the year, LeBron's been going to the finals. I mean, he had like a stretch where we went to like what 8 or 9 straight finals or something like that.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, so I mean, it's that aspect, and then just his work ethic. Like, he's always working on his body, always making sure everything's good, and like he definitely invests a lot in his body for sure. So making sure he can, still perform at the way he is now.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to do what he's doing at his age. Is he even like touch junk food, or is he? If it's not on his menu, he doesn't touch it.
Probably does, but I mean, he's just also, I mean, physically, special. So yeah,
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's the kind of guy you run into and you tear your pec.
yeah,
No, yeah, I would hurt my shoulder. You
yeah,
you might tear your pec.
yeah.
How about KD? Because KD kind of strikes me as, and I could be totally wrong, of just an absolute gym rat, just a guy who's going to play basketball for 18 hours a day when everybody else plays for 11, and that's just why he's so good. He's not going to beat you up in the weight room. I don't think he's going to watch what he eats, but he's going to play more ball than anybody else has ever seen. Am I right on that, or is there something kind of different?
Pretty much, like he's always, paying attention to the details. Like you watch his workouts, like he's always doing like footwork things or making sure, yeah, make sure his balance is right on the shot and stuff. So like, it's always like doing like little things to make sure everything's perfect. So
Yeah, I heard back in the day, like, I think he's from DC. I think I heard he would like go to these gyms and play runs for like 2-3 hours, and then like go to the sideline and take a nap, and wake up a half hour later and play some more for 3 hours. He just like can't get enough of it,
yeah, like he's a hooper for sure.
man. And then what about Curry? Like, how impressive is his shooting routine? Because everybody's seen the highlights. Everybody's seen, he'll do his stuff where he doesn't miss and he makes 43 pointers in a row. But how impressive is it from a teammate standpoint to watch that shooting routine and to watch him play?
Yeah, I mean he's like automatic for real, and like his stamina is crazy. Like he puts his body through a lot to be the way he is now, and then you know through his strengthening too. Like he used to have those ankle problems, but now like he got his body like strong to the point where, I mean, he's finished to do contact. Everything else is strengthened in his body, so he's like a machine too for sure.
In the league, is it kind of like I don't know how to explain it, kind of like a little bit of a robbery in terms of, are you kind of watching everybody so you can steal a couple things? If you go to LeBron and LeBron's maybe got a chef that you like and you kind of use his chef, and then maybe Curry does an ankle routine that you like after you roll your ankle. Is that kind of what the NBA guys go through, is almost a little bit of a buffet line of, I can take from this, and kind of make your own?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, if you see something that works, I mean, why not try it yourself? So, and
For sure.
maybe it'll help you. So, yeah, that happens a lot. Like, seeing what works and like trying to execute on that for sure.
Awesome. All right, I got this segment called My Name's Nick, so I call it the Titanic. And then I just ask a bunch of rapid fire questions. I got like 10 or 11 in here. And don't think of it too much. Just kind of go off the top of your head. And like I said, we'll wrap this baby up. We've already been going for 35 minutes. It's great.
All right.
Top 2 basketball shoes ever. What are they?
Hybrid dunk for sure. KD4s.
Really? No Jordan in there? No Jordan 11s?
Like, I mean, wearing around Jordans, but like actually hooping in it, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, I have a pair of the originals I got when I was like early in high school, and I've just kept them forever. I threw them in a washer and dryer to try and clean them up because they were garbage. Soles fell off.
Yeah, it's over.
Wow. Horrible idea. All right. In a given day when you're in public, so not a day when you're at the arena all day. Normal day when you're in public, how many times do you get asked how tall you are?
Probably like 10 times.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I get asked. I'm 6'5". I get asked like once a month. But I'm saying what's your exact 6'11"?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like every time you go to Chipotle, the guy behind you says, "Hey, how tall are you? You play basketball?"
Yeah. If you're out in public, somebody's gonna ask you for sure.
And is it always followed by, "Do you play basketball?"
Yep.
Hard to get away from that.
Yeah.
Do you drink coffee? And if you do, how do you take it?
No, I'm not a coffee drinker.
I wasn't either, but I got hooked during COVID.
So I hear like everybody said like once you start, you go get hooked. So like I just never started.
But it was weird because I wanted to get hooked. It was COVID. Nothing was going on.
Yeah.
And I don't drink. I've never drank alcohol. I don't drink. So I don't party. I don't drink coffee. And I was like, man, I don't do anything. So I was like, I've always thought coffee tasted just like pure butt. So I'm like, I'm gonna figure out a way to drink coffee. So I went to McDonald's and got 3 different coffees. I went to Starbucks, got 3 different coffees. I brought all 6 home.
Yeah.
And I did like a taste test. And I was like, whichever one of these 6 tastes the best, I'm going to drink that every day for a week. And if I still hate it, I'm done. And I now every morning get a McDonald's vanilla iced coffee.
Vanilla iced coffee, that's the one.
Dude, it's the best. If you learn anything from this podcast, DJ, go to McDonald's and get a vanilla iced coffee.
Vanilla iced coffee.
And join the club.
Yeah.
Okay, you've played everywhere for basketball. What's your favorite city to play in as an opponent? Like, where do you get excited about the most to play in as an opponent?
Probably Golden State was cool. Like coming back, just because like I started off there. I mean, I didn't play at that exact arena, but like being in the area is cool.
Okay. What about coming home to? It's not really home because you're from Baton Rouge, but what about going to play in Louisiana?
It's also good. Like a lot of family and friends come through to watch me, so it's good.
They just hound you for tickets?
Yeah. So it varies. Like we just came through there, so like I mean, it was a weekday game, so like a lot of my friends was like working and stuff, so like I didn't get like super hounded, but every once in a while, like if it's a weekend game, then it can be pretty bad.
What's that process in baseball? Again, I was in the minor leagues. I wasn't in the big leagues. But if tickets were $25, we had to pay like $15. If tickets, is that kind of how it is for you? If they're $100 tickets, you got to pay $60.
Nah, yeah, you don't get any discounts either.
Oh, you got to pay full price?
Yeah, well, you get on the road, you get 2 tickets comp, and then like maybe you ask like around like teammates or something like that that aren't using their tickets, like you can use theirs or something like that.
Cool. Well, hey, I got to plug in for our boy Plow. He lives in Miami now, and I think he said you're playing the Heat here shortly. You might have to get him some tickets.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, there we go. You're welcome, Phil. All right, you're doing a cross-country road trip. We're talking California to Florida in a car. Who would be the most enjoyable for you to be in the car? KD, LeBron, or Curry to ride cross-country with?
Probably LeBron. He probably talk about kind of crazy stuff.
What is your favorite McDonald's breakfast menu item?
Hash brown.
I'm a McGriddle guy, but hash browns are legit. As a big man in the NBA, what gets your blood pumping a little more? Monster dunk, like a poster dunk over somebody maybe. Power dunk, we'll call it. A nice block, or just hitting that open 3 as a big man?
Probably the poster dunk for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite dunk? I'm gonna play some of your highlights in this if the NBA will allow me. But do you have a favorite of all those dunks?
Inside out, there's a drop pass, beautifully done. Damian Jones, a little nasty dunk.
Dang, I'm trying to think. I won't say I necessarily have a favorite, but like I remember like my first game of that season where I tore my pec. I had one a lot where Draymond kind of like threw. It was like it was a crazy like I don't know how I caught it, but like, all of a sudden I caught it and like kind of like threw it in.
Yes.
I was like, bro, like, cause it was kind of like one of the first plays. Like it was the first game of the season. We played the Thunder, and I don't know that one. I just remember that one. It was
Nope. I got that one in there. I got the lob over Gobert.
oh yeah,
That one's nice.
That one, yeah.
Yeah. So I got a couple in there that are real sweet. All right. I know you like to travel. I've seen all your pictures and stuff. You go everywhere. You've been frickin' coast to coast, every continent. What's the coolest place you've been to, or what are two of the coolest places you've been to?
We just went to Paris, and it was cool to check out the city. Like a lot of history in there, and architecture there is pretty crazy to see.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But I'll say out of the parks, my favorite so far is probably Arches National Park.
Okay.
In Utah. The rock formation there, crazy. It's like it's different. So.
Yeah. Did you go to Zion?
Zion? Too, yeah, Zion's pretty. Yeah, Zion is different.
Oh man, walking through those. Did you walk the Narrows?
Yeah, I walked the Narrows. Yeah.
Oh, that is unbelievable. Just rock on both sides, 500 feet up.
Yeah. Some people rock climbing and stuff, and everybody, kids, is playing around.
Did they get you and they asked you to like rent boots and a walking stick, or did you go?
Oh no, I didn't get I already had like boots, so I was
Smart.
But yeah, I mean, I wish I had like Crocs or something. I don't know what. Like, I really don't know what I would wear. Like, do I want to wear boots for the grip? But the boots would get heavy from the water. I mean, I wore like some type of boot, but like, yeah, it's different situation walking through it.
When I got there, they're like, "Oh, do you want to rent these boots and a walking stick?" And I'm like, "What am I, soft?" I'm like, "No, I'll just wear my sneakers." About 100 yards in, I was like, "I should have got a walking stick and some boots."
Yeah. It's either one or the other. Like, if you got boots, then you're cool. But if you got a walking stick with regular sneakers, because it gets super slippery. So yeah.
Yeah, it really does. I probably ate shit like 15 times.
Yeah.
And you got to play it cool, like you were looking for something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. All right. If you play Caitlin Clark 1 versus 1, we're not going to talk about the score because I'm going to assume it's 11-0. The question is she getting a shot off with DJ? Just hands wide.
Yeah, she'll probably get a few off. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but just make sure they don't go in because I had the score 11-0.
Yeah.
Who's the toughest big man you've ever had a guard, or where you just had your hands full and you're just like, man, like this is a different breed? Who's that guy?
I mean, it's either Jokic or Embiid for sure.
Is Embiid just sheer like mass, or is it all of the above? Because I know Jokic he's a magician.
I mean, both of them are pretty heavy. So, but yeah, like, and then like Embiid, like he likes to draw fouls too, so it makes it tough. Like, you want to like match his like strength and stuff too, but he also like would draw the foul too. So it's like you got to play the game kind of.
Yeah, Jokic is. I mean, that dude's something. I mean, he looks like he's never lifted a weight. All of his interviews, he acts like he doesn't like basketball, and he just comes out there and he's an absolute magician. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Well, since he met Denzel, we'll go best Denzel movie of all time.
Ooh. Dang, I don't know. I wanted to say a random one, but
I'm a Man on Fire guy.
Man on Fire.
Man on Fire.
Yeah, the last one I watched, last Denzel movie I watched was Fences, but
okay, haven't seen that. But you got Training Day. Even Equalizer's unbelievable.
Yeah, the Equalizers are pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. Like those are fire.
Yeah, not the Queen Latifah ones.
Yeah.
How was that girl a super, whatever you call it, action star on TV? Come on, Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Yeah, find a new angle. No one's buying her jumping off of a balcony and rolling onto a car and fighting crime.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hire Queen Latifah to be my bodyguard. All right, when you got the league, did you buy anything expensive? Like, did you buy a car? Did you buy a house? And if you didn't right away, what was the first thing you spent money on?
Nothing really right away. Like, I bought a car. The first time I bought a car was like going to my 4th year in the league. I've been renting this whole time, so I haven't bought a house yet. But probably the most expensive purchase was probably my car.
What car did you go with? Got to know.
Tesla Model S.
Oh, you fit in that thing?
Yeah. You know, it works.
You didn't have to customize the seats or anything?
No.
Okay, Elon Musk
back, but yeah.
knows how to do it for the big fella.
Yeah, I know, right?
I like it. Have you driven a truck? Oh, I feel like, and you're 6 inches taller than I am, but I was always an SUV guy. And then the second I moved to Louisiana, and everybody there just drives trucks, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a whirl. And it was the most comfortable thing ever as a taller guy. I can't imagine being 6'11". So if you're looking for any recommendations, Ford F-150 for your next car.
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah, that, and then you can also join the other club that I mentioned you about earlier. All right, last question. Like I said, this is awesome. It's getting long. I don't want to waste your day. Do you watch basketball? Are you one of those guys that you come home and you watch other games around the league? Or are you, hey, I'm coming home and I'm unplugging and I don't want to watch basketball until, I go back?
I do a mix of both. Like sometimes I watch some other stuff, but sometimes I just come back. Like, got a big game on TNT or something like that, I'll turn it on. Or like right now, like college basketball is at its peak with March Madness stuff, so I watch that too.
How's Vanderbilt doing this year?
Not great.
They've really struggled. Is Stackhouse still their coach?
They just I think they parted ways. This did, so I gotta find a new head coach now.
Somebody get the Commodores back in the dance.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
Brutal.
It's been rough.
Yeah, but all right. Well, I'm gonna take more time, Damian. I cannot thank you enough. This has been awesome. Next time you're in Chicago, I'm gonna be hounding you for tickets.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. And again, I can't thank you enough. You're the coolest. This is so much fun.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate you.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Welcome to today's pick. I'm leaning towards taking Luke Humphreys to win the championship in the professional dart conference. However, bowing to our guest today from Cleveland, and since I went to college outside of Cleveland, we're going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers and give the points tomorrow night against Indy.